Okay, today I'm very happy to welcome singer Lana Crow. How are you, Lana?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very happy to welcome you. Just got your press release and your latest single. Congratulations for it. But first, I want to know a bit about your background and how your interest into music started.
Yeah, so it was encouraged by my grandfather, who was
Yeah.
he insisted I should learn piano. I think he
Yes.
played maybe at some point he played piano himself. So yeah, he basically bought a piano for me, and he told my parents you need to send her to music school, which they did. I think I was about 5, and so it was like a preschool, and then it was a school. Um, I think I stayed there for a couple of years, and then I had some health problems and I had to drop out. Basically, yes, I spent
Yeah.
a few months in a hospital, and then like post hospital, there were other like supporting my health. And then when I came back to the music school, I was too much behind, and they gave me a choice. You can stay or you can leave. But if you
Yeah.
stay, you have to repeat a year. And I was like, no, I'm not repeating. And that was it. Yeah. I didn't come back to it until like how many years ago? 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And originally, you are from?
So I was born in Kazakhstan, and
Uh,
when it was Soviet Union. So
yeah.
like, we were all Soviets in our passports. Um, but I mean, like origin, yeah, origin, probably a mix. Like I
Yes.
don't even know because we were all Soviets. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I was next to Kazakhstan once. I was in Orenburg, which
Okay.
is the border. I was invited to a film festival as a jury member.
Oh
So I
wow.
came there like it's very long to travel from Moscow to Orenburg. It's another flight, It's like I
Massive.
remember maybe 4 or 5 hours, but it is very beautiful. And also I went to Russia as well again in Kazan.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have many friends from the area, Kazakhstan, especially young filmmakers, because I used to work for a festival in my country, Egypt, for short films. So
Uh-huh.
we invite many people from around the world, including Kazakhstan and many people from Asia.
That's
So
cool.
I'm familiar with the culture and the creativity there.
Okay.
So, tell me a little bit about growing up. You grew up in the UK?
No, I fully grew up in Soviet and post-Soviet environments. So uh,
Yes,
I was a kid when it collapsed. Not
yes.
a kid. I'm not telling you how old I was because that would give away my age. But
Mm. This
uh,
is on your website. I saw how.
so yeah, I moved to
Yeah.
Europe when I was in my 20s. I was like fully developed and had a mindset. So that was like a cultural um yeah, it was quite revealing. So growing up, I guess it wasn't great. Soviet Union wasn't great. It
Yeah.
was the whole socialism it develops that slave mentality where children were. I mean, everybody was like individuality, like it didn't matter. What mattered is your productivity. So like it became like from a very young age, children had to become productive. That was part
Yes.
of the system. Every person had to be productive. Socialism is being romanticized, which is seriously crazy nowadays. But
Yes.
you belong to the state. When the state owns everything that you consume, then you belong to the state. You have to pay back. You have to pay back basically with your existence.
Uh-huh.
You have to, and so that mentality prevailed for like most of my childhood. And I wasn't a happy kid really. And
Yeah.
so in my 20s to Europe, and there was this like discovery, oh my goodness, like these people, they respect themselves and they respect others. It was like wow, it was quite huge and a bit of a cultural shock. And yeah, I went through a bit of like I guess maybe transformation. It was slower than I would like it to be, but yeah, I embraced it and yeah, loved it really. Yeah.
Tell me about your first steps, into venturing into music and becoming a professional singer. What can you tell me?
So yeah, it was unexpected. I guess like I had so many problems. Like I said, the transformation was slow. I always had this kind of mentality where I am here to serve others, and that prevailed. And I didn't know I had a problem. It's like you're not aware unless something changes, and you start questioning like what's happening to you and why it's happening to you. You don't know you have a problem, right? So, and it was quite crazy because at one point it's like somebody suggested, and I don't remember how it happened, but somebody suggested the external world is just reflecting your mentality, like what you think about yourself. I'm like, oh, so I looked at the same problems knocking on my door, and I was like, okay, they are here to tell me something. So I approached them that way. And I realized it was just this mentality that I am not worthy of anything and I have to basically serve everybody else. And as soon as I kind of tackled that, then I had this dream. It was this tune. It was like out of nowhere. And it was a nice tune, very nice. And it had these two words, I will, I do. So I wake up, it was about, I think 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I have the tune in my head. I have the words in my head. Only because it came in a dream, I thought, I think I need to write it down. So like I got out of bed and I sang it into my phone, and I just there and then I wrote this first song. So it was like, it was out of nowhere. I didn't touch my keyboard for ages and ages. So I wrote that song. I'm like, again, because it was a dream, I thought I need to do something about it, but I had no idea what to do about it, how to approach it. So I asked a couple of people and I said, okay, well, you need to use your keyboard and basically, use the chords, whatever knowledge you still have, build a melody and then you can send it as a demo. You find a producer locally and he will work out how to, create like a modern sound. I'm like, okay, so I used my keyboard, wrote the tune, it was ready. But like finding a producer in Spain, it was tricky. I guess the music industry here, I don't know, maybe I just didn't know where to look. So eventually I went from one place to another. It took me such a long time. So I found the producer. But being Spanish, it took him a couple of years to actually create the track. And by then, I discovered that there are producers online. And it was like, it opened so many possibilities. It was like this whole new world where, I write a demo, record it, I send it online using those third-party platforms like Airgigs, Sound Better. And they're like, okay, we like it. We're going to create a track. I was like, wow. And then it just went from one song to another. And they mostly come to me in dreams. And then I realized something. I would always like sing a tune in my head or aloud sometimes, rarely, but I just always thought that I heard it somewhere. And then I realized actually it was my own. So, yeah, and I started writing one after another, and I keep telling myself, I'm going to stop because it's like, it's costly, but no, it's just something keeps nudging me. So there we go.
So when did you release this first song with the Spanish producer?
So funnily enough, it wasn't my first ever release because the Spanish producer took such a long time to actually create the track. Because before his track was ready, I already wrote like 4 more songs. And then I found this online world of producers. And actually, the first release was my second song, and it's called Tale of the Sea. And that happened in 2024. Remember, it was summer, so 2 years ago. Yeah.
Great. And when I saw your website, I see you already realized a full album.
Yeah, I have three albums.
Yes. So, did you work with different musician and producer, or it was all the same?
So my first album was mostly with one producer. I was very lucky to find him. He was expensive, but it was like, he was good. He was really good. But then he became too expensive for me, so I had to shop around a bit. And my
Yeah.
second album, I guess it has the biggest range of different producers, because it was between like, oh, the quality, the money it costs. So it was like, yeah, weighing one thing against another for a while. And then the third album, I just get lucky sometimes. So the third album, I worked with this producer who I really, really liked, the British guy, George Harris. But then I get this message from Tristan Boston, who is actually a Grammy winner, offering me really good rates. And I didn't know who he was. And I get quite many producers reaching out and wanting to write, to produce music for me. So I kind of dismissed it to begin with. It took me a couple of months before I looked at the message, looked him up, and was like, oh my goodness, a Grammy winner. What am I waiting for? So he suggested that if I prepare a few songs, then he will offer some affordable rates, which I did. And so the last 5 songs were produced by him. He's great. George Harris is great. Tristan is great. I've been lucky, I can't complain. Yeah.
Yes. You have a new single called Out of This World, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the topic, and what are you trying to say through the lyrics and also your performance and the music?
Yeah. So this one, it was, I watched a movie because my daughter insists that we have a movie day, right?
Yes.
And we watched a movie together in which a mom wrote a song for her daughter. And my daughter turns to me and she says, have you written a song for me and my brother yet?
Yes.
And my daughter is she loves herself, that girl, it's like, she's one of those people where they have a lot more confidence than I had when I was a kid. It's like, girls like that would make me jealous. And and I'm like, no, but I've planned it. And it's true, a couple of years ago, I had this kind of some tune, and a child, how childbirth changes you. That was the theme, right? And I hummed it on my phone, and then I left it, just because I struggle to associate pop music with songs about children, which is shame, right? Because it's like, we all strive to care for somebody. We all that feeling is the biggest in the world, I think. And so she kind of forced me into it. And I am so pleased she did, because it's my favorite song, I think. And it's internal, isn't it? We humans, and I think all species really, we all want to care for somebody. It's just because that person who depends on us, it wakes something in you where, first of all, you feel more worthy yourself, because you can see they need you, right? Even if you weren't a particularly loving person before, becoming a parent or becoming somebody's carer has the potential to make you more loving, because you have that person or somebody fully dependent on you. And it's a beautiful thing. And I think we're not paying enough attention to it, how much potential it has to change people and change their lives, really. So yeah, I think it's eternal. People will always relate to it. And what I was trying to say in that song is, I guess, how much it means for us, the potential that it has for everybody. That little person is, you know, the way I looked at every person in the world, is they're these divine creatures, right? I think of every person carrying the light of God in them, and they, some people, you know, for various reasons, they just, the light is not shining as much. But those little children, when they're born, they're those divine creatures. They're not impacted by, you know, programming and indoctrination that we put on them, that the society forces on them, you know, everything that, like, this external pressure and things, we can send lots of wrong messages to our children, basically, as
Sure.
parents and as society. But they, to begin with, they're like these perfect divine creatures, and it's so important to recognize that, I think. And in that song, I'm basically, I'm trying to transmit that idea, but also, you know, I say, you are so precious to me, you're so precious to the world. Some say, oh, it's just one person, how is it precious to the world? Oh my goodness, one person can change the world. Just look at world leaders, right? So
Yes.
many of us doing such detrimental things to us, but some doing better things. I mean, every single person counts. Every single person is a treasure. And I think, I was trying to send the idea, like, in that song.
How old are your kids?
11, turning 12 very soon, and 15.
Very nice. So one of them is growing up, being an adolescent.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask you something. As a mother, what do you like to teach them most?
What I teach them, and I became wiser quite recently, like I said, it was kind of a revelation for me, is they need to understand how important they are. Like, first of all, they need to understand their own importance. I also teach them to understand that the world outside of them just reflects who they are. So don't look at this whole victimhood mindset. It can take you down horrible, dark places, right? No, don't consider yourself a victim. This whole, oh, that's unfair, or they've done this to me, they've done that to me. No, look at it as an opportunity. Yes, we have obstacles, we have some problems, we all do. It's a challenging world we live in, but it's like you own it. You own your life, you own everything that happens to you. And when the external world responds, is responding to what you've been thinking or doing. It's just embrace it. When I embraced that kind of mentality, things started improving for me. You know, it's faster than I imagined. You know, it was like one miracle after another. I mean, writing songs, for me to think I could write a song 4 years ago, what are you talking about? No, it was a concept absolutely out of the question, impossible. You know, I would laugh in your face if you told me I'd be doing that. But yeah, it's like recognizing your own potential, allowing yourself to view everything as a reflection of your own thinking.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to teach them.
Tell me, you have right now 3 albums. The music are, let's say, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, the famous music platforms, right?
Yeah.
Did you shoot some music video for the songs?
Yeah, they're DIY. They're not great. I did for 2 of the songs. I do.
Yes.
And another one was, I forgot.
Who was the director?
Me.
Okay.
I do everything myself. I'm not wealthy. Is basically everything that I do it takes time, but I have to do it myself. Apart from producing, obviously, because producing I just couldn't do it. I don't have the instruments, I don't have the software or the hardware for that matter. But yeah, those two videos, I basically I set up my iPhone on that like tripod, and
Yes.
I recorded. I put the music on, and I was singing to it. It was basically what I did, and then I transferred all to my computer, and I was trying to build, you know, a pleasant looking something really using Adobe Premiere Pro. That was it.
You like to be introduced to a good music video director? He's a friend of mine, and we used to work together. He's a director. I was a writer because I work in television as well as a writer of international entertainment programs. So I used to travel with him and 2 or 3 crew member, a television presenter, and used to cover festivals for Egyptian and Arab television, you know, for not only Egypt, but for Kuwait, for Dubai, for Abu Dhabi, you know, and for Showtime as well, Arabia. So you remind me out of him. He's in France right now, by the way. You know, and I'll try to look for him. I can introduce you because he directed television and music video, you know, and you know, maybe you like to have him.
Thanks.
I will write you an email then, okay?
Thanks for that. Amazing.
To introduce you and see if you can collaborate together.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time I interview a lot of singers and from different generations, and I want because I see you self-produced your stuff. You know, beside writing the music and the lyrics, and you find producers. Maybe as well you designed your website. I don't know.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. Okay, and I want to ask you because I ask this a lot, you know, because you know that the music industry has changed, and the way people, you know, there are no like CDs or album or cassettes or vinyl sales right now. You can do this maybe online, but I want to ask you, what are your plans to generate for yourself, I mean, success and income, and so you can continue to produce more music?
I would love to, you know, and actually I was signed, well, not I was signed, 12 of my songs were signed by a boutique French agency, sync agency. They did say, look, getting a sync placement it doesn't happen very often. But there's a hope that maybe I get a sync placement at some point. Syncing is kind of, like I said, when I didn't know anything about the industry, right? So, and I didn't know anything about syncing. I knew I couldn't do concerts. I think I struggled with the whole thing of having fans and exposing myself. I don't know. I still struggle with that concept. But syncing is a kind of quiet way of making money, and hopefully I can continue writing music if, you know, if I get paid eventually a little bit. So yeah, we'll see if it's they signed 12 of my songs about, I think maybe a few weeks ago, but it takes time. She said, like, the whole year could pass and you get nothing. So
of course. Yes, of course. You know, about creator music, I have my YouTube channel as well, and I did another YouTube channel, you know, using AI last year. You know, I'm like you, I like to learn new things. My background was engineering studies, so regarding technicalities, maybe it's easier for me to learn new stuff, you know. But you know, right now the struggle for creator, because social media are you know full a lot, you know,
Yeah.
And of course, opportunities are not for everybody.
No, there is a lot of music out there, isn't there? A lot. Definitely. The market is oversaturated and social media, and I'm just really bad at it. Social media
Yes.
is not my strength, and it plays a
Tell
huge
me,
role. Yeah.
yeah, about yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Right now it's difficult because a lot of creators and people are competing, and a lot of young people, and as well, not all of the content is genuine. I mean, of value. Meaning, if
Mm,
I can browse TikTok and Instagram
mhm.
and not find something value that then brings me value, that bring me an information.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, so yeah. So tell me as well, your website has several photos and the press release. I saw you do your own photography as well.
Yes.
So you put the camera and the cell phone on timer and run in front
That's
of
it.
it.
That's it.
Bravo. Okay.
Yeah.
But the photo I chose for the thumbnail was very nice. It's taken near the Mediterranean. If you are in Spain, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's quite beautiful here.
Yeah, yes. How about a duet or with your kids in the future?
I'm sure my daughter would love it. My son, he's more like me. He's a bit more
Ye-
private.
Yes, he can direct the music video, and you can sing with his sister.
Actually, do you know what? You reminded me. There is another video with my daughter on the beach, and it's called
Yes,
"Love with You." It's actually a lyric video, but that's where I was. That
yes.
was shot a couple of years ago, and I think it was actually my husband who did it using the iPhone. So my
I-
daughter would love to collaborate because she's that type of girl. So you never know.
Yes, yes, yes. So think about it. And I'm very happy that we made this live. I hope you can share it for your fans and your website. And if you have a new music video or a new song, you can come back and speak to us about that.
Thank you. And I'll wait for
Okay.
your email as well.
Yes. Thank you very much. Enjoy right now the evening in Europe.
Thank
And I wish you all the best, and hi to the family as well from here.
you too, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Ciao. Bye.